Oh, so guys, welcome back to another video, and this is another basketball reaction. It's been a few days. If you are like someone who sees me post on the community tab, you'll notice that I've been posting about my camera, and it was about what, 4 or 5 days ago, and I had a few videos pre-recorded as to why there were still some posts after. I think two or three of the videos that I posted were after the camera stopped working. So it may seem like it wasn't as long as it actually was, but I've not been able to record a video for 5 days or live stream, which is frustrating because especially with the NBA playoffs, I was really excited because I done game 1. I didn't do game 2, but I was planning on doing, I think it was game 3, game 4, game 5 and game 6. Obviously, I couldn't do them and that's just frustrating, but I still watched it and it was crazy, man. I mean, game 6, obviously, the Lakers just swept it in the end. But I mean, the Heat put up a good fight throughout the whole series, and you just sort of saw like the overall strength from the Lakers, just how unreal they really were. But I'm aware that this video is actually a few days before, so I'm assuming this was actually, well, this was obviously, I think this was just before the Heat won. Maybe it was the day the Heat won. So again, I'm not 100% sure, but whatever this video is about, I'm interested to see, because whenever JxmyHighroller posts, I love the videos. I just find his videos fun to react to, really. But let's give this a watch, and yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the playoffs in general, like on the Lakers? If you're a Lakers fan, how are you feeling? And the same to Heat fans as well, like how are you guys feeling? I'm probably going to do a video in the next few days more focused on the actual finals. If there's any out there you would like me to react to, just link in the description and I'll be sure to check them out. But let's give this a watch and see what JxmyHighroller has for us today. I saw LeBron in the thumbnail, so I'm 99.9% sure that's about him and maybe his legacy, but we'll check this out anyway.
After a win on Wednesday, the Lakers have taken a
turn it up, we're back with the audio issues, let's go.
3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Just one win away from a championship, with a lead so large in the series that only one team in NBA history has come back from such a deficit. And the leader of that comeback is now on the other side of things. Unless the Miami Heat pull off a miracle, LeBron James is destined to win his 4th NBA championship. But not every ring is built the same. So how will this championship change the trajectory of LeBron's legacy? Or maybe an even better question, does this change anything at all?
Okay, so this is what's going to be the context then.
For the first time in a decade, the Los Angeles Lakers have made their way back to glory. Of course, the job's not finished yet, but it pretty much is.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Are you sure about that?
The Lakers are one win away from their 17th championship, which will tie the Boston Celtics for the most in league history.
I saw that.
In fact,
crazy thing is, this Boston Celtics won. Obviously, they've won like one championship. I think it was 2008. No, not 2008. You see the Lakers there. Well, that's the finals. Maybe it's 2008. They've won about one like championship within the last like 20 to 30. Well, I think 30 years, which is ridiculous. But it goes to show like certain teams have their best moment, or they've had their best sort of moments during a certain time. Theirs was in the 60s. You can see the Lakers, that's probably the craziest thing. They've just had crazy sort of teams throughout their whole history, which is actually kind of wild, man.
Season makes it the Lakers' 33rd finals appearance in franchise
This is actually their worst era.
Which means the Lakers have beaten Celtics for the most in league history. In fact, this season makes it the Lakers' 33rd finals appearance in franchise history, which means the Lakers have better odds of making it to the finals than the Clippers have of winning a regular season game.
What?
I wish I was kidding. Possibly the most shocking and insulting stat I have ever seen in my life.
That is a violation.
So this particular championship isn't all that special in the grand scheme of things, except it features a player that is building one of the most complete, extensive, and record-breaking resumes the game has ever seen. When it comes to records in the finals, LeBron is now 1st in wins, 2nd in points, 2nd in assists, 2nd in steals, 4th in rebounds, and 1st in triple-doubles. But we are already familiar with those numbers. And unfortunately, filling the stat sheet does not always result in success. Which leads us to the other record. The dreaded 3-6 finals record.
Touched upon this last video.
By far the largest black mark on LeBron's career. It's a number that continues to haunt him on his quest to becoming one of the greatest to ever do it. In fact, LeBron James and Wilt Chamberlain are the only two players to reach top 10 status while maintaining a losing record in the finals.
Jesus.
But how does that old saying go? Quality over quantity. Well, of every player to ever play the game, LeBron is tied for the second most finals MVPs. Tim Duncan has 5 rings, but was outplayed by Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard in 2 finals.
And he won it this year, so
Magic
didn't he?
Johnson has 5 rings, but missed out on 2 finals MVPs to Kareem and James Worthy. Kobe has 5 rings, but only 2 finals MVPs. And Kareem has 6 rings, but only 2 finals MVPs.
Jesus.
So if the goal is to play big when it matters most, sure, winning the finals is extremely important. But being the best player on your way to a championship is just as paramount. This is why Robert Horry, a man with more championships than Michael Jordan, is not considered better than MJ. Because we are all aware of the context, in which case MJ and LeBron are the only players to be the best player on each of their championships.
I do find that interesting how in basketball in general and the NBA, they really find sort of there's a real importance to like sort of not clutch players, but that's not the right word, but like showing up in the big games. Like if you don't show up, you're not going to be considered as one of the best. Like in soccer, it's a lot different, and maybe because in basketball, individual players are a lot more important because it's like a smaller court and there's less players, so like you just more focus on individuals. But like in soccer, like you have like some of the best players who won't perform in the finals and they'll still be considered like some of the best. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, he's my favourite player, but he has had finals where he's stunk up the final and still managed to win. And same with Messi as well. But they're still considered in such high regard. But with basketball, I'm seeing obviously there's cases where they don't show up, and there's cases where like obviously Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi have shown up as well. Like they've had their great moments, but it's just interesting how they really have a sort of focus as to like how players show up in the big moments, and I find that really interesting. But it's what the sport's about, isn't it?
Teams
I like it
twice, and with the way LeBron's currently playing, he may possibly win his 4th Finals MVP.
Yep.
Now, the key word here is possibly, because right now the LeBron James-Anthony Davis combo is looking like one of the most deadly and equally productive duos to ever do it. But even in his 10th finals appearance, LeBron is just as dominant as ever, putting up numbers that even Anthony Davis can't quite keep up with. In fact, 2 narratives that are circulating at the moment are that Anthony Davis is playing outstanding defense in comparison to LeBron, and that Anthony Davis is carrying the Lakers down the stretch. Both of these narratives being painfully incorrect. LeBron not only has a higher defensive rating than Anthony Davis in the finals, LeBron has scored 3 times as many points in the 4th quarter as Anthony Davis so far in the series. But the standard he has set for himself has become so incredibly high that if he wants to call himself the GOAT, these are the criticisms he will be getting until he silences every one of them. Because let's be honest, the constant, never-ending complaining to the refs is completely out of control. I actually saw a play where LeBron drew contact, got the foul call, and still complained because the foul wasn't called soon enough.
I can see why that would piss people off, man, because I mean, when you're just seeing that as a neutral, it's just going to be frustrating to see. But I can also see from his perspective, it shows how much he wants it, and even if he's just frustrating you a bit, it shows his desire, right? It shows his desire.
You got what you wanted. What more do you want from the guy? And then there was this play where LeBron complained for a foul while he was in the middle of a layup.
Are you serious?
The play isn't even over yet. Of course, he's not the only player to ever complain to a ref, man. But it's more than just some whining here and there. Yelling at the refs has become a staple of LeBron's game, an actual attribute he's apparently trying to boost or something. And then there was this little incident that many viewers picked up on after their loss in Game 3 against the Heat. LeBron walking off the court like a sore loser. Except, if this is being a sore loser, then does that make Larry Bird a sore loser for walking off the court during a free throw while getting eliminated in the conference finals? Or, let me guess, is that just his competitive nature showing? And then there's the argument that I've never quite understood about this road to a championship being an easy one. First, it was LeBron couldn't compete in the West, and then it was Dame time, and then small ball was supposed to pick apart the Lakers' big slow defense, and then it was watch out for this young gritty.
I remember that, man.
And now,
sorry for pausing again, but like I remember it like when they started, like because they started very slow in the bubble, and in the playoffs, people were writing them off straight away. Like not everyone, but a lot of people were, and they still managed to do it, man. And I wasn't writing them off. I just sort of didn't realize just how good they were because of how slow they started in the bubble. I still predicted them to win. I'm pretty sure. I think I predicted the Bucks to beat them in the final, but I predicted them to do well. But they did start well, and I was sort of I started to consider whether maybe they weren't going to be as good as they were. But something just clicked, and they started playing insanely well. Then they just started dominating everyone.
Here we are with the Lakers just one win away from a championship, and apparently their opponent isn't great, and Anthony Davis is carrying the Lakers.
Wow.
How exactly is a team that took down the squad with the best record in the NBA, the league MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year, took down a Celtics team with one of the best duos in the NBA and a star in Jason Tatum, and only lost 3 games coming into the finals? How are they not a good team? Sure, they don't have a superstar, but you don't just accidentally stumble your way into the finals.
Yeah, that's true.
They
man.
have earned their shot at a championship. And to say they aren't a worthy opponent is insulting to all the work they've put in up to this point. According to this kind of logic, I guess the Bucks and the Clippers and the Nuggets and the Celtics and the Raptors and every other team in the NBA just wasn't trying. But obviously they were, and this take is ridiculous. If this Miami Heat team is not a great finals team, then what do you call the 2015 Cavaliers with LeBron and literally a bunch of bench players?
Jesus
Or what
Christ.
about the 2001 76ers with Allen Iverson basically playing 5-on-1 against the Lakers? Or the 2007 Cavaliers with LeBron James basically playing 5-on-1 against the Spurs? My point is that not every team that makes it to the finals is going to be an all-time great super team. The finals over the last decade has skewed our perspective of what a great team looks like. And for the first time in a long time, LeBron and company are not facing off against a team full of Hall of Famers. Of all the all-time great players who spent the last 10 months fighting for this moment, only 2 teams actually earned it. So here we are, on an inevitable course to a Lakers championship and LeBron's 4th ring and possibly 4th finals MVP. So what does this change? Well, for fans who have been paying attention for the last 17 years, not much. And for the others, well, again, this championship won't change much. You either accept his greatness or you don't. At this point in his career, the numbers and accolades are inevitably going to pile up.
Speak for themselves, don't they?
Another championship or 2 is not going to change the fact that LeBron is arguably the best to ever do it. Another ring doesn't increase or diminish LeBron's seemingly ageless dominance. This was all a part of the plan. 3 and 6 was always just a number, not a defining value of LeBron's ability or legacy. And that 3 potentially changing to a 4 is only validation to what some realized years ago. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always,
I love these videos so much,
until
man.
next time.
I could just watch these and just sort of like, just chill and watch these and just chill back. And I mean, obviously I can't because I like reacting to these games. I can't talk today. Alright, it's been a few days since I've recorded it, right? But like, what was I trying to say? I like reacting to his videos, but like I like doing them as video reactions, like not just watching them on my own time, because obviously if I react to a video that I've already seen, there's no real point in that. So I do obviously just see his videos in my own time, but fun to see, man. And I love that I'm sort of reacting to his content that he posts like regularly, like currently as well. But another good video. And what are you guys' thoughts on this? Like, I mean, for me, I love LeBron, but I know there is a lot of people out there that hate maybe not hate him, but they really don't like they don't rate him as much as the majority of people do, and they doubt certain things that he's done. But for me, he's just an absolute, he's one of the greatest athletes like in sport ever, like for me, without a doubt. Like the more I've got into basketball, the more I've realised like the true sort of nature of what he was, like what he was as an athlete and what he still is. And it's just like refreshing to see and learn about him as a basketballer and as just a person in general. Man, there is no real basketball content creator like you in a league of your own, undoubtedly. It's true, man. He's wild. Who's here after the Lakers won the championship? How does it feel to win your 4th championship, LeBron? Job's not finished, Bronny. People love memeing Bronny, don't they? Butler, you're in trouble. OBJ, you're in trouble. Danny, I'm in trouble. Off-season trade, fuck's sake. He got destroyed for that shot, man. He got absolutely destroyed. I felt for him, man. And every other team is not worthy. Crosses up Lakers. Not even the Lakers is good enough to go up against the Lakers. Shake my head. I thought they had a good little thing going. I guess better luck next year. When they go uploads before the game tonight. Who's here after the Lakers won and LeBron got Finals MVP? I'm here, bro. The one where he was midair, he looked at the hand and said, "And one, laugh my ass off." When he looks at the ref when he's shooting already, that was funny, man. He's calling for a foul whilst he's dunking. Just classic LeBron, right? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Any more basketball or NBA reactions you'd like me to react to from the finals? Is there like any YouTubers who have done a video about like the finals, maybe like an overview of everything that happened? Link it in the description. Maybe I could do a reaction to that in the future. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. More to come. Thank God we can return with the videos because the YouTube has been popping off, and hopefully I can continue with what's been going on, even though it's been a few days since I've posted. But yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well. Until next time, like, subscribe, peace.